As I mentioned, I started with Artist 7 now, and you can pretty much see that this is the thing we have with us, all the time. If you be completely true to yourself as an artist, as a professional, um, you will see that Artist 7 is the place you can come anytime to rejuvenate, to replenish yourself. So this is like not a place for people who are too rigid about their technique and all that stuff. Rather, this is a place for people who want to explore, who want to have a different kind of experience, a new experience after a long time. They can go through the deeper aspects of themselves or nature or the world or great philosophies, deep philosophies. So, this is where we discuss things in a very non judgmental way. And talking about education, I have always talked about education in a very serious manner, and we must do so. Education, when I talk about education, especially in Artist 7, and I have mentioned it in other places as well, when we are talking about education, we are not talking about people coming from a particular background. Like, for example, in Artist 7, we are not talking about people who have come from the science background, so called the science background or scientific background. They can only pursue science. You have come from the so called art background and you are pursuing arts, fine arts, dramatic arts, liberal arts, whatever be the thing. You are coming from a commerce background and you are pursuing something related to commerce, chartered accounting, CFA professionals. Only finance is the path you can take, nothing else. So if you go through the management education, you will see that we enjoy diversity nowadays. You go to any premier, or good business school, you will see that diversity is something we enjoy. Why? The reason is that um, you should have different experiences. You should learn from other disciplines. So when I talk about Artist 7, there is some inherent management within you. Inherent management, the wisdom you have gathered from life, from people, observing people, having your experiences. So all these things are combined. So whenever you are talking about the scientific background, with the point of view of a school, of a schooling, I'm not going there and I won't be there, because as far as I can remember, if I talk about scientific background or artistic background or commercial background, we are not talking about all those things in any of these things I am doing. But few people will come with that because they cannot do the work, so they need some excuse. They need some excuses and they need to give some blame. What is the blame they can give? They can figure out a lot of blames and excuse, but we are not going there. Rather, we will do the work. So, suppose you are curious about science, but you couldn't pursue the scientific background. Maybe you pursued arts. Does that mean that in your life you won't get the opportunity to study science or have the curious questions or explanations or the discoveries or the exploration? You know, you can have that anytime. So we are flexible, and you should be, because you're open to new experiences, adventures, and learning can be an adventure. It is so much fun. So here we are not talking about schooling, getting a degree, doing this and that. We are not talking about that. You are going to a place which is very open. If I talk about Artists Heaven, it is very open. Open in the sense sharing expressions, sharing your points of view. And this is a place where we are not judging each other. One single word you speak, one single sentence you speak, and we are judging you. Not that. But saying that, whatever you say in Artists Heaven or whatever discussions we have, apart from the online discussions, that is totally secret, that is totally private. We don't share with others. That's the thing we share with each other significantly. And you will see that in India there is a large group. I will say there is a large group, because they are influenced by the influencers, the so-called celebrities. They are continuously pushing towards that, because they are uh, having a different mindset, hypocrites, but they want to try to imitate this artist seven culture, or they try to imitate this and that, so that they can date few people, so that they can get the girls, so that they can do this, so that they can exploit the other men, all these things. There are many things, so I have seen it. I never knew about all these things. I mean, I had an idea just by looking at these people, and listening to them, or maybe looking at their behavior, I got that idea. But when I did a deeper research, I could see that they are continuously thinking about that, because their lifestyle is built around that. Their mindset, their way of working, everything is built around that. So the problem, even the worst thing, is they are trying to do that to other people, so that they can cultivate that mindset, they can go through that mindset. So when you come to Artist 7, since we are doing it for real celebrities, and we don't want to call ourselves celebrities, that kind of celebrities, but still we are humble professionals. We are maintaining our humility and professionalism. And the thing is that not even being arrogant, because sometimes in other places I be a little bit arrogant because of the right reasons. But here we are not even being arrogant. So we are just enjoying the thing as it is. We are open to new, challenges, problems. Because when you are doing filmmaking, each and every day you are facing new challenges, situational challenges, challenges specific for the day, and you are solving those problems together. So an act of collaboration, you are respecting each other, we are helping each other out, we are making it together. So the collective experience of making a film, so those things. And in Bengal we used to have that, because the great men we used to have in Bengal, men and women alike, we used to have that culture in Bengal. But unfortunately, because of bad leadership, or because of lack of understanding, whatever you want to call it, or maybe deliberate attempts, things have changed. But still it is not that bad, because I hope they will learn. But it used to be a place like a cultural capital of India, and not only Indian culture, an amalgamation of cultures, European culture, American culture, um, Asian culture, Indian culture. So people used to get nourished by Bengal, scientists, artists, philosophers. They used to come and they used to have great discussions. Now the question people ask nowadays is, why don't we have that anymore? Because we don't have those people anymore. The mindset is distorted, and suppose you are following a celebrity, or so-called celebrity, or following an influencer. That person is deliberately telling you not to follow that path. Obviously you will take a detour, because you are driven by greed or money, or quick success, whatever be the thing. The more you love the profession, the more you love the art, the more you love the process of filming, the process of filmmaking, the process of being an artist, your journey, your exploration, the more you are in touch with that, the more you connect to that, the more you are in love with that, then you can do so many things. There is no restriction, there is no there is no limitation, because your imagination is the only limit you can put on yourself. You imagine a different story with a great vision, you can make a movie out of that. But education is a significant factor, and many people will try their different agenda. But I will mention one thing: honorary doctorates. This used to be a great thing, because Bengal also used to be a place for great doctorates. Still it is, in fact. Many people pursue great higher degrees. So academic pursuits, higher intellectual pursuits, It used to be a characteristic of Bengal. It used to be a characteristic of Bengal because um, you know um, people were driven by that. Intellectually, they were very curious, and that exploration could benefit the humanity. It is still benefiting. So not only India, but I'm talking in terms of the global context. But the thing is, when you have a distorted honorary, one person or maybe few people having the similar mindset, and they want to tell you that they are doing the right thing. Now, when they are doing the right thing, if you don't know the actual thing, what you will do is you will go through that detour. If you don't have the capability to test those people, or to actually see things for yourself, if you cannot do that, then the thing is you take it in terms of face value. So what do? You follow that path. You do this and that, and you become that. No, it has to come from your own experience and feeling. And you can always look at the great people who have done the work, great human beings. So suddenly you will see few people having one particular mindset. What they are trying to do, they are actually trying to take you to a detour. Now, one thing I can tell you, it is that bad. Like a kindergarten teacher, his or her pedagogy will be very different. So one person who is not even a kindergarten teacher properly, he is telling the parents that they can trust these people with their children, and these parents don't even know who they are going to. you know so that is one thing. But money and abuse, just because of money and abuse, two central themes. If I talk about money and abuse, you can be a PhD supervisor, you can be a postdoc supervisor. It is like that. I mean, one they take example of in a very bad way, that is Rabindranath Tagore. And there are few other people in Bengal or in India. Even if you take Ramanujan, Ramanujan did quite good in his explorations. So the thing is, they actually achieved it. They went through that path, they actually achieved it. They became that human being, they became that scientist, they became that philosopher, or they became that polymath, or even they became that sannyasi, if I call it. They went through that higher pursuit. It is not like that I am doing wishful thinking. Tomorrow I am comparing myself with someone else without even doing the work. I am thinking that I have already become that. And these are the people. They are also coming up with those excuses and blames, with that particular mindset. They will tell you, you should do this, then you do this, you should do this, and then you do this. What do you do after that? The problem is you are putting yourself in those limits. You are giving yourself more barriers. You should have believed in yourself. You could have helped others, you could have taught others, you could have done your own thing. But because of these limitations and barriers, that too not of your own, you put limitations on yourselves. So this gap you can understand. Just because of money and abuse, or maybe a degree you have bought or you have gathered from somewhere, you are not going through that process. But there are places in the world where people have achieved it, then they are awarded that, because they can understand, people who are giving them that, they can understand they earned it. Maybe they didn't go through the formal education, but they, as a human being, as a professional, as an artist, they achieved that. This is how we do that. So just don't go to those false paths or that detour. Rather, you do your work, you believe in yourself, you learn from your own experiences, you follow the great people, their wisdom, their knowledge, their pursuits. You will see that you will be in a better position to make great films, make great art, or write great things, because you are doing it genuinely, authentically. You don't have to go for the publicity only.